Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. Dear friends, have you ever wondered why we find some leaders and their messages inspiring while others leave us flat? As a leader, do you want to ensure your team members not only understand your vision but also actively work to make it a reality? So, dear friends, to understand these questions, let's have a discussion of a famous TED talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Action by Simon Oliver Sinek. Simon Oliver Sinek is a British born American author and inspirational speaker. He is the author of the five books, including the most famous book is here, Start With Why, published in 2009, and The Infinite Game, published in 2019. As a motivational speaker, Simon has spoken at the United Nations Global Compact Leaders Summit in 2016, and he has been very much occupied at TEDx conferences since 2019. Now, let's know about this TED Talk. This TED Talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Action, delivered by Simon. It was delivered in 2009. In this TED Talk, Simon explores his concept of the golden circle. What is this golden circle? He calls this golden circle as a naturally occurring pattern, grounded, found in the biology of our human decision making. And he also explains why we are inspired by some people, by some leaders, by some messages, and sometimes the organizations over there. So, this is the main theme of this TED Talk. Now, speaking about the golden circle, Simon says the golden circle is similar to a target with three rings. He says it's similar to a target of three rings, starting with the outer ring and center ring, and the sections are labeled with WHAT what, HOW how, and why. So the most common and comfortable place for a leader to speak is to what, as in what the organization does. So generally, the leaders speak about what. Many leaders are also comfortable speaking to how, how they do or what they do. But most of the speakers, they never speak or they don't speak to the why, WHY. So the speaker suggests that WHY is the most transformational and powerful place to speak to, because it is a place of purpose and passion. So, dear friends, try to understand what does Sinek say here. He says that many leaders, motivational speakers, they always talk about what and how, but they don't talk about why. Because if they talk about why, we can easily understand the purpose and the passion. That's what he would like to convey here. Now, he further explains that the golden circle corresponds to the biology of human brain, the outer layer of the brain, that is WHT what. This outer layer of the brain, what, is represented in the Homo sapien brain, that is called the place of rational thought, analytical thought, and the language. The inner circle of the brain is connected with why and how. The outer circle of the brain is connected with what, where we think thoughts, data, languages. But the inner circle of the brain is connected with why, WHY, and how. So this relates to the limbic portion of the brain, where what happens, where the feelings get generated. Example, trust, loyalty. So the trust and the loyalty, such feelings get generated in the inner circle of the brain, which invokes why and how. So this is the place of decision making. This is the place of decision making, and especially those that come from the gut, which come from the emotions. Now, Sinek suggests that when we communicate from the what, we are not appealing to the part of the brain where decisions are actually made, because decisions are made where, when we communicate to why. So when we communicate from WHAT what, we are not talking about the decision making skills. So however, if we connect actively via why or how of the limbic brain, that is called the place of passion and the place of purpose, definitely we will be able to take the decision, will be able to follow the leader's footsteps. So what do leaders they do? They allow us, they make us to think of why and how instead of what. So the speaker says here, passion and the purpose, they are built, they are generated by what? They are generated by WHY. So passion and the purpose build trust and develop loyalty. What we do naturally follows to rationalize the behavior. WHAT, rationalize the behavior. On the other hand, why and how they develop the passion, purpose, and finally we develop the trust and the loyalty. So fascinated by the great leaders of the world, the speaker Simon has managed to codify how the inspiring leaders in the organizations think, act, and communicate. The speaker, teaches graduate classes in strategic communication at Columbia University, and he's also the author of three important books. And one of the bestseller book is here, Why? How the Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. That is the main focus of this TED Talk. To repeat, in this TED Talk, the speaker introduces the idea of golden circle. That means a naturally occurring pattern which we can see in the biology of our human decision making, that explains why are we inspired by some people, why are we inspired by some leaders, why are we inspired by the messages, and sometimes why are we inspired by the organizations. So now we have three important takeaways, three important messages, three important inspirational quotes from this TED Talk by Simon. Number one, inspiring leaders and the inspiring organizations, regardless of the size or industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. So the speaker says all great and the inspiring leaders in the organizations, whether it's Apple Company or Martin Luther King, they operate in the same way. It's the opposite of everyone else. Either inspired or inspiring leaders, they start with why. They don't start with how and what. They start with WHY, then they move to the how, then they move to the what. So here the speaker has given an interesting example of Apple Company. He says Apple believes in challenging the status quo. That means why? By making beautifully designed product. That means how. And those products just happen to be computers, that is called what. Now the question is here, does your organization do the same? Second takeaway, second inspirational quote, the goal is not to hire people who need a job, it's to hire people who believe what you believe. The speaker says the goal of business is not to do business with everyone who needs what you have, but with everyone who believes in what you believe. And the same applies to hiring. You don't just want to hire people who are only in it for the sake of salary or benefits, but you hire those people who genuinely believe in your company's mission and the vision. So he points out that the part of the brain which is responsible for our feelings, which part? The inner part, that's called limbic system. This inner part is responsible for all human behavior. Hence, why people can know all of the facts which someone and still go with the gut. So finding people, you should find those people who can think about your company's mission, who can change your company's culture, that does not drive a desire to earn more money, but they should be fueled by the loyalty and the passion. Hire those people who believe what you believe. Third takeaway is here: leaders hold a position of power and authority, but those who lead inspire us. Not all people who have a position or the title of authority are truly leaders. Who is a true leader? A true leader is someone we follow not because we have to, but because we want to. Leaders who start with what they believe are the ones who inspire those around them. Because in the end, we all follow those who lead not for themselves, but for others. So these are the important takeaways from this TED Talk, and I hope we are really very much inspired by this famous TED Talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Actions, given by Simon Oliver Sinek, who says that think about WHY, don't think very first about how or what. You think about WHY, that's going to lead to how and what. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are very much inspired by Simon's TED Talk. Thank you once again. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.